Howdy, and welcome here to episode 54. And that is a big episode because we only have one more episode in this series to wrap it up and hit that new goal of $10 million. As you can see here, we are now in September, and up at the top right, you can see we are at $5.6 million. So we have a long ways to go. But we're going to cover a lot of ground in this episode, get a lot done, because to see here, we're heading over to a sorghum field. We got to get that harvested, get that delivered over to the other farm, because that is going to be our chicken food for next year. In addition to that, between this month and October, we're going to have a cornfield we're going to use the forage harvester on. We're also going to have the main cornfield that will be ready to harvest, and we're also going to do some planting of our winter crops. So we have a lot to get done. So I'm going to head back over here to the farm, grab the harvester, get back out here and get this field started. And while I'm doing that, let's go ahead and roll the intro. In the beautiful Missouri countryside lies a little town called Alma. Join me in this series as we make $5 million and build the ultimate farm.
We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night.
And we have made it back out here with the gleaner, and I still absolutely love this mod. But we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a time lapse here, get this little small field harvested, and then we're going to move on to a whole bunch of other tasks. And as I was walking over back to the farm to grab the gleaner, I noticed another task we're going to have to do. And that is, we have a bunch of weeds in the canola fields, and we're going to have to spray all of those down. So even more tasks to get done.
We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night.
And we are just finishing up here. This is a pretty small field. It did not take very long at all. In fact, just a couple up and downs. 2 headlands, a couple up and downs, and you're done. And speaking of that, we are done. So let's get this unloaded, and then we're going to head over to the original farm because we have a lot to get done, and most of it when you get done is over there. Well, I just totally lied about going over to the original farm because on the way there, I happened to notice, hey, our planter and JCB are here. And then I remembered, oh yeah, we should probably go ahead and replant this field as well. So we're going to replant this one because we are putting our winter crops in right now. And one of those is canola. And pretty much the plan for every field on the new farm is it's all going to be canola. And I realized saying that we will never see any of that because we're going to be finished up with this series probably before next year rolls around. Ideally, I think. Hopefully. If not, there's going to be a very long episode on episode 55 to get to that $10 million. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this field planted. And that should maybe wrap up all the planting on this farm. I'm pretty positive. You know, I don't think I've mentioned it before, but I absolutely love this mod, the planter. I forget who it's by, I forget what it's called, but I think it's something like Kinsey multi-fruit something planter. And one of the reasons I love it is besides I do actually like just the Kinsey planters in general because they're really easy to use. Easy to store and everything like that. But I love this one because it has the option of both planting and you can add it where it actually rolls the field. I hate rolling the field, just gonna admit it. I am totally gonna admit that. I own it. And so this saves having to do that step. It also, now I will say it does also have a mulcher option built into it. I do not recommend that because it has the mulcher slightly in front of the planter. So if you're not careful when you stop, if you don't stop just right, it's destroying what you planted previously. So it gets a little, it can cause some problems. It can cause some replanting over again and also leave spots unplanted. So that's just, yeah, my take on it. But overall, I still love this mod. I can't even say the word mod anymore. But I love this mod because it saves a lot of steps in the process. Well, we made it over here to the original farm this time. See, I didn't lie every time. And we're gonna get a worker started on this field here, getting our wheat planted. Because one, it's a large field, and to be totally honest, I just don't want to do it. Second, we have a lot more to get done, including, well, harvesting the corn, one of the cornfields with our forage harvester, as well as spreading some herbicide on the canola fields. Well, first up, we are going to tackle the cornfield to get all of this knocked down. My plan was actually to have a course play do this for me, but for some reason it's not working, and I don't know why. But it would start and then just turn off the header. So something there in this, either between the modded header or the modded forage harvester, it's just does not like courseplay. So we're gonna go ahead and do this ourselves and get it all foraged. And we already have quite a bit of chaff, so I think we're gonna have quite a bit of chaff from this, which is awesome to see. So I decided, with the forage harvester not being able to have a worker do it or course play, we're going to come over here, kill all the weeds real quick on the two small canola fields, which is this one here and I think the one on the other side of the trees there. And then I'm going to turn, whoops, I just missed a little bit there. Let me back up and grab that. So we'll knock out these two small fields real quick, kill all the weeds, and then we're gonna turn this over to a worker and have them finish up the big canola field while we head back over and finish the forage harvesting of the corn. All right, we got the two small fields all taken care of, knocked out. So we're going to turn it over to a worker here, and then we're going to head back to the cornfield and finish the forage harvest of our corn so we can make a bunch of silage. And there it goes, killing all the weeds. And we made it back over here to our corn forage field. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know. We're going to call it that. We made it back out here, and we're going to knock this out real quick here while I try not to lose my voice. It is not going so well. I'm fighting a cold, but we're going to power through it and get this episode done. All right, we have got our first load of chaff here, 120,000 liters. We're going to deliver this to the fermenter because both of our trailers, we're actually using two trailers out on the field there, and they're both filled up. So it's time to get these emptied out so we can finish up the cornfield. All right, we are just finishing up here. We just on the last row of this cornfield, and we will be all done. And I gotta say, corn makes a ton of chaff, which makes a ton of silage. I can't even say the word silage anymore, but it does make a ton, and I kind of wish I had been doing this a lot sooner. I mean, a whole lot sooner. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up this field because we need to move on to October because we have our main cornfield that we want to harvest. So let's head back to the farm, get the rest of this chaff unloaded, and then we're going to move on to the month of October. We made it over here with all the chaff, and it was a bunch of chaff. We had pretty much two full trailers on top of the other trailer load that we already delivered, so it was quite a bit of chaff. And here we are with the second trailer. Well, that's actually the third trailer, I guess, because we've already emptied this one once. So our third load. And look at that chaff go up. We're already 760, 770. We're probably going to hit well over 800,000 by the time this is all done. So let's just make sure everything's turned on, and they are. All right, we ended up with 825,000 liters of chaff, and I think that's between both fields. This has actually been running for a little bit, so yeah, we're going to have a ton of silage, which is good. That will keep the cows well fed, and we will definitely probably sell some of that for profit too. And we are now in the month of October, so we are deep into the fall time, and we're getting towards the last half of harvest season. There's not a whole lot of fields left to harvest, but as you can see up here, corn is now ready. So we're going to get set up with our harvesters and get this field knocked out. Now this is a somewhat large field. So for this whole process, we're going to use both the New Holland and the Gleaner. So let's get these set up and get them out there harvesting. So the New Holland already has a head start on us. They are, well, you can kind of see them way out there in the distance. They're already at the far end of the field. And we're going to get the Gleaner started here on the second path of the course play. And we're going to get this field knocked out. And yes, I am really wishing I had auto drive for this. And I still haven't set it up. But at this point, it's too late in the series to set it up. So we're going to let the workers handle that. I'm going to have to keep an eye on their field levels, because when those get filled up, I got to empty it. Otherwise, they'll stop harvesting. So while they're doing that, though, we need to get set up for harvesting the sugar beets. We are out here on the sugar beet field, and we're using our really expensive harvester that we bought, with the potatoes. That was a whole ordeal. Let's not talk about potatoes. We're talking about sugar beets. So I'm going to turn this loose with the worker, because I got to do carding now for both harvesters on the cornfield as well as this harvester on the sugar beet field. So I am definitely going to be hopping around a lot with all of this work. And first up for unloading is the Gleaner. So let's get this unloaded, and then I'm going to head over and unload the New Holland. And for the New Holland, we're going to do a mobile unload. The New Holland has already finished all of its headlands, so it's just heading down here to start on the rows. And hopefully I can do this without running into it or causing an accident. And with this sugar beet harvester, this should be a pretty fast unload, because it has like super speed. And oh yeah, oh, it's emptying out real fast. All right, so looks like we got about just a little over 100,000 liters of sugar beets, and that's just from, we're still doing the headlands, so that wasn't just the headlands, we're still doing those. So what I'm gonna do with the sugar beets here is we're gonna take this over to the sugar factory, and we're just gonna straight dump it right in and get started and start producing that sugar, because we need it for a lot of productions. And it's kind of our final production to get up and running as well. All right, let's head around here and make sure it's turned on and running. And oh, I just noticed it's already on. I had already turned it on. So yeah, we are good to go there. We're gonna have a bunch of sugar, because 100,000 liters of sugar beets and we haven't even finished the headlands yet. That's gonna be a lot of sugar, which is awesome. That's gonna be a big payday. All right, this is the final row of the cornfield. So let's get this wrapped up, get it loaded into our trailer here, and then we're going to make a trip into town to deliver the corn to the corn dryer. All right, the sugar beet harvester has quite a bit of capacity left, so we're going to take this into town here, and I believe the sugar beet harvester, if we look over there, it has started on the up and down rows, so we're going to head into town and get this corn loaded into the corn dryer so we can start processing. And also, I want to point out, big milestone up there, top right corner, we just went over $7 million, at least for the moment. We have made it here to the corn dryer. So let's get our corn dumped in, get it started processing, and then we're gonna go spend some of that $7 million, because we don't want to make it too easy for ourselves to hit the $10 million. But first, let me head over here and make sure the corn dryer is running and set to distributing, and it is. All right, we are good to go. So let's head over to the store and go spend some of that money. Now, I know you're asking, what do we need to spend money on? Well, there's one thing we don't have that we need to harvest some of the fields we've replanted. That is a cotton harvester. So I think we're going to go with this one here, the Colossus cotton. I can't even say the word cotton anymore. The cotton harvester, to use that to harvest the fields. I'm almost tempted to use the John Deere or the Case, but I'm looking at, hey, well, what's the easiest to use, transport the bells and everything, and also the money. The John Deere, I hate to say it, but the John Deere is better, but it's $847,000. The Colossus is basically the same thing for just under $400,000. So, duh. Well, I went ahead and paid a delivery fee to have it delivered to the farm. I wish I could say that was the plan, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. I forgot that we had previously had stuff delivered to the farm, so my plan was to drive it back to the farm, but that we ain't doing that. We've already paid the delivery fee. I'm just going to leave it there. So we're going to head back to the farm, and we are down to 6.5 million. However, that is still up from where we started this episode, so we're heading in the right direction, very slowly and gradually. But I think in the next episode, well, I know in the next episode, episode 55, we are gonna hit $10 million because we're gonna keep playing and playing and playing until we hit that $10 million, however long it takes. So I'm gonna head back here, finish harvesting the sugar beet field, and I want to thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure and hit that like button, and also hit the bell so you get notified of future videos, as we have the next video. It's going to be wrapping up this series, and the one after that is going to be starting our next series over on the amazing Bosnia map from Celobuki.
Without you, without you.